Federal Medical Center says singer Nanya died due to late hospital arrival after snake bite. Muslim women condemn Kwara killings, call for stronger security. National Orientation Agency condemns Woro attack, urges calm and collective action. On the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to meet Trump in U.S. over Iran talks. In sports news, Kwara United blame concentration lapse in 1-0 defeat to Plateau United. Good afternoon and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is the news on the hour. I am BISOLA. ODUWOLE SUILEMAN. We'll bring you details of the news after this break. Please stay with us.
We've all heard about home fires taking lives and destroying all that a family owns. These tragedies are reminders for us to double-check for fire safety. Make sure your home has properly installed and working smoke alarms. Practice a fire escape plan. Never leave cooking food unattended for long. Teach children never to hide but leave if there's a fire. Switch off all electrical appliances when not in use. In cases of fire, remember, the most important thing to do is to protect lives first.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin.
Welcome back from that short break. Please note that you can listen to us via our website, www.diamondfm.net, or watch us live on Facebook at Diamond 87 FM and YouTube Diamond FM. Ilorin. Now the news in detail. The 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, on Monday led protesters at the National Assembly in Abuja, demanding the inclusion of real-time electronic transmission in the electoral law. Addressing lawmakers at the protest, Obi warned against ambiguity, saying Nigerians should not face election result glitches again, as seen in previous polls. He also urged lawmakers to explicitly include the phrase real-time electronic transmission in the proposed law, arguing that the Senate's current clarifications are insufficient and could confuse the nation.
Simple transmission. It's not a difficult thing. Allow the elections to go through the normal process. Whoever wins will accept. So why are you bringing us of confusion? That's what we are trying to make sure they make that difference.
The Occupy National Assembly demonstration saw heavy security presence with officers from the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, Nigerian Army, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps ensuring order. Kenneth Okonkwo, a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress ADC, has criticized Senate President Godswill Akpabio over the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, calling for his resignation or removal. Okonkwo described Akpabio as an enemy of democracy for supporting provisions the Supreme Court previously flagged as undermining electoral integrity. Speaking on national television reported by Diamond FM this morning, Okonkwo accused Akpabio of perpetuating election rigging, manipulation, falsification and subterfuge by retaining Clause 60-30 of the bill, which concerns the electronic transmission of results.
Let me tell you the beautiful, notable pronunciation. Let me tell you the beautiful, notable pronouncement by Abba Aji, Justice of the Supreme Court, as he still is. He said, modernity and technology stare us in the face, and we cannot turn back the hand of time. He said to go against the use of technology and electronic transmission and transfer of election result in this high-tech era and period is to be an enemy of democracy and to stick to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge. This is the pronouncement of Abba Haji, Justice of the Supreme Court, went further to plead with the legislature to please nip this confusion in the bud by making it clear and unambiguous through amending the process that INEC does not have any discretion, that it is mandatory.
Still in the news, the Federal Medical Center, FMC Jabi, has disclosed that the death of the Abuja-based singer Ifunanya Nwagene, popularly known as Nanya, was caused by her late arrival at the hospital after a snake bite. The Chief Medical Director, Saad Ahmed, said the 26-year-old arrived more than 2 hours after the incident when the venom had already caused severe systemic damage. Speaking on the sidelines of the Senate Committee on Health's 2026 Budget Defense Session, Ahmed dismissed claims that anti-venom was unavailable at the Federal Medical Center. He explained that Nwagene was beaten by a cobra and was promptly administered 2 doses of anti-snake venom on arrival, but stressed that anti-venom is most effective within 10 to 15 minutes of a bite. A wind and rainstorm on February 1, 2026 has displaced more than 2,000 residents and damaged at least 179 houses in Eroke-Ate, Ukwa-Erepe and Okagba communities in Akoko-Edo local government area of Edo State. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, made the disclosure following a preliminary assessment. NEMA's Benin Operations Office, in collaboration with the Edo State Emergency Management Agency, carried out a joint assessment to determine the scale of the destruction. The assessment revealed that 337 households were impacted, with women and children identified as most vulnerable. Moving on to Osun State, 6 months to the Osun State governorship election, leaders of the All Progressives Congress APC gathered at Albarika House, Osogbo, on Sunday to strategize on reconciling aggrieved aspirants and party members. The meeting, attended by National Secretary Senator Ajibola Bashiru, 60 former lawmakers, including ex-speakers Timothy Oweye and Mojid Alabi, focused on ensuring unity ahead of the August 8, 2026 poll. Speaking after the meeting, Bashiru said a steering committee was constituted to engage all categories of aspirants and party leaders at both state and federal levels. He emphasized that the gathering demonstrated cohesion among former legislators, all committed to supporting the party's flag bearer and working for the success of President Bola Tinubu and the APC in 2026. In 2027, I beg your pardon. The Federation of Muslim Women Association in Nigeria, Form 1, has condemned the recent deadly attacks on Woro and other villages in Gwanabe Ward 1 of Kayama local government area, Kwara State. In a statement on Monday, the Kwara State Amira Alhaja Bilkisu Oladimeji described the killings as a tragic assault on peaceful communities, resulting in the loss of lives, destruction of property, and displacement of residents. Form 1 warned that attacks on Muslim communities threaten peaceful coexistence and religious harmony in the state, urging security agencies to intensify intelligence gathering and strengthen security networks. The association also called on relevant authorities to adopt proactive measures to protect vulnerable communities and prevent further attacks. Lastly, on the local scene, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Kwara State Directorate, has condemned the recent attack on Waro community in Kayama local government area, which claimed several lives. Describing the incident as disturbing and unacceptable, the agency said such violence threatens peaceful coexistence and undermines efforts towards safety and sustainable development in the state. In a statement signed by the State Director, Alhaji Dari Abdugani, The NOA called on security agencies to intensify measures to protect vulnerable communities through enhanced intelligence gathering and collaboration with local stakeholders. It also urged residents to remain calm, law-abiding, and to cooperate with security agencies, reaffirming its commitment to promoting peace, unity, and community engagement across Kwara State. And that's it on the local scene. The news on the hour is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM. Ilorin, we take a short break. When we return, we'll bring you foreign and sports news. In foreign news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to meet Trump in U.S. over Iran talks. We'll bring you that story after the break. Please stay with us.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
Welcome back from that break. You're still listening to the news on the hour, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. Before that break, we brought you local stories. Now we move on to the foreign scene. In foreign news, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will travel to the United States to meet President Donald Trump amid ongoing negotiations with Iran. The meeting comes after indirect talks between the U.S. and Iran in Oman over the weekend, with Netanyahu aiming to push for limitations on Iran's ballistic missiles and an end to its support for regional groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. According to Netanyahu's office, this will be the seventh meeting between the two leaders since Trump returned to office last year. Meanwhile, President Trump described the recent Oman talks as very good and said Iran appears eager to reach a deal, warning that the consequences of failing to negotiate could be very steep. Still in foreign news, a rubber boat carrying 55 people capsized off the coast of northwestern Libya, leaving at least 53 dead or missing, including 2 babies, the International Organization for Migration reported on Monday. The vessel overturned on February 6 north of Zawara, shortly after departing Zawiya late on February 5th. International Organization for Migration teams, IOM, provided emergency medical care to the 2 survivors and confirmed that the passengers were refugees and migrants from various African countries. That's it on the foreign scene. In sports news, Kwara United technical advisor SUILEMAN has blamed his team's narrow 1-0 loss to Plateau United on a lapse in concentration. The defeat came at the New Just Stadium on Sunday, with Sadiq Yusuf scoring the lone goal towards the end of the match. Suleiman admitted that the team had aimed for at least a point, but faltered in the closing stages. He said the squad is now focused on bouncing back in their next game against Canopilas in Ilorin next Sunday. Still in sports news, Ademola Lookman has called on Atletico Madrid to remain positive despite their 1-0 defeat to Real Betis at the Metropolitano Stadium on Sunday. Brazil international Anthony scored the only goal of the match just before the 30th minute, handing Manuel Pellegrini's side the victory. The game marked Lookman's La Liga debut for Atletico Madrid, during which he had a goal ruled out for offside. He described playing in front of home fans as a special moment, despite the disappointing result. And that's it in the world of sport. With that, we've come to the end of the news on the hour for today. But before we go, here's a recap of the major highlights. We don't want glitch again, Peter Obi tells National Assembly during protests. Federal Medical Center says singer Nanya died due to late hospital arrival after snake bite. Muslim women condemn Kwara killings, call for stronger security. National Orientation Agency, NOA, condemns Waro attack, urges calm and collective action. On the foreign scene, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to meet Trump in U.S. over Iran talks. In sports news, Kwara United blame concentration lapse in 1-0 defeat to Plateau United. And those are the major headlines as brought to you this afternoon. Before we wrap up the news, we take a look at our Today in History segment. Did you know that on this day in the year 2010, Nigeria's National Assembly passed a resolution designating the then Vice President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as acting president of the country, invoking the doctrine of necessity during President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua's prolonged illness. Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact the Diamond FM newsroom number on 091 606 27526. 091 606 27526. Join us at 3 p.m. for the news flashing at 5 p.m. for the news across the world for a comprehensive bulletin. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms to keep up to date with us, or download our app on Google Play Store and iOS Apple Store, Diamond FM. You can also visit our website, www.diamondfm.net. The news on the hour was edited by Adeyemi Adewale. I am BISOLA. ODUWOLE SUILEMAN. Thank you for listening to your shining supreme station. Please stay tuned for the news in Yoruba coming up shortly. Good afternoon, happy Monday, and have a wonderful rest of the week.